Hello, I'm Andy Walker with Digital Farm TV Rural News. Farmers are eagerly anticipating better trade conditions, with the Australian dollar falling below parity last week for the first time this year. The strong Aussie dollar has hit all commodity exports, while the greenback has been languishing for the past 6 months. The Aussie dollar has now dropped 7% from its 2012 peak of US 1.08 in February. Agri-economists have estimated going forward that every 1% drop in the dollar would increase farm earnings by $190 million. The market power of Coles and Woolworths is under the spotlight as part of a Senate inquiry, which began last week into the state of Australia's food processing sector. During the past 2 years, high-profile Australian processors, including SPC Ardmona, McCain, Heinz and National Foods, have shut up shop or scaled back. Suppliers and producers have accused Coles and Woolies, which control almost 80% of the market, of being responsible in part. The Australian Food and Grocery Council has pointed the finger at the aggressive behaviour of Australia's retail food duopoly. Scientists say that the next frontier of Australian grain crop production is understanding the root system and function of crops, again the backdrop of volatile weather events and systems. In a University of Western Australia project, researchers have experimented with lupin roots, with an overall aim to improve the water use and nutrient uptake of narrow-leaf lupins, which account for half of an industry that generates $600 million a year. The study, reported in the international journal Plant Soil, indicated that the findings may be used in breeding new varieties of lupins with modified root systems that may produce higher yields in soils with relatively limited water and nutrients. It might sound like a recipe for a barbecue disaster, but the latest weapon against livestock methane emissions is a laser beam. A team from the Melbourne School of Land and Environment, led by Associate Professor Dalai Chen, was the first in Australia to accurately measure livestock emissions using laser and infrared spectroscopy. Results showed the average methane emission was much lower than estimates currently used in Australia, but the average ammonia emission was substantially higher. Professor Chen said scientists could only find ways to reduce greenhouse gases if they could reliably measure them. By sending a beam of light through the offending air, scientists could measure concentrations of methane, nitrous oxide and ammonia in the local atmosphere. Emus are gradually changing the trend of poultry farming in the Indian state of Odisha, located on the Bay of Bengal. The first emu farm was set up there about 7 years ago, and the birds have since grabbed the attention of dozens of farmers, with some claiming to be running a profitable business within 3 years. A breeding pair costs around $500, big money in a country where the average weekly wage is just $15. The breeding flock is currently estimated to be more than 50,000 birds.